Hello, this is DarkNerd. I'm going to be teaching you how to make zombies. I'm going to be using this Zangoose as a reference. This music's too loud. I'm going to be using this Zangoose as an example. You'll notice I have two of them. I always keep a second one on the screen in case if I need to borrow some pieces and should I mess up and want to redo. I recommend you do that too. And as for getting those images, you could just go to Stadium right now. You can't find it on the tabs. Simply type in that URL right here. It'll take you here. Then just type in your Pokemon's name, and you have it for pretty much any region you want whatsoever. Anyways, back to this. Considering Zangoose is white, we do not want a white background, which is why I made it purple. And this is where the eraser tool trick comes in. Step 1, recolor. Use the eyedrop. Select the first primary color, and you select it again. This time you want to right click onto the color you want to switch it with. In this case, like the latest green, the latest zombie green I have, and holding the right mouse button and dragging it over will allow you to do a perfect recolor. As you'll see, things are coming out nicely. Sometimes you're going to need a double up color, or else it won't really make much sense. Now then, here you'll notice I don't exactly have enough here in my palette for it, which is perfectly fine. Most Pokemon don't have the exact same shades of colors, so I recommend you have a palette like this and edit it which is flexible enough for you to be able to switch around and do things with. Sometimes that happens, so I want to be careful, and occasionally you might miss a pixel or two. Doesn't really matter. Just remember you have the right shade selected. And that's green is generally the primary color, but in some cases you're going to want another completely different color. Like right here we want it to blend in, so blue typically works good as a secondary color to use. Should green already be used. Specifically a dullish, not very bright shade of blue. Then we want to be very careful with like the eyes. You don't want to mess around with the eyes yet. And again, these four probably aren't enough to shade in everything. Oh wait, they might be. Oh yeah, these And I used 5. Yeah, well. Yes, that's why you want 4 shades, gives you a flexible palette. Notice I didn't change the nose. Alright. Cause typically if it's bone or something, I'll change it to yellow before I add the blood. Always save the blood for last. It's the most fun part. God damn it. Selected the wrong. You want to be really careful. It'd probably easier if I just zoom in on it. And you won't see me screw up so often in this thing. Typically for the darkest shade right here, you're going to want the darkest shade here. So it's okay to skip a few colors on some occasions. What if this spot's be there? There we go, a little extra spot. Might as well make it right, sometimes you gotta improvise. Alright, we've got him recolored. Now we come to the fun part. Turning him into a zombie. I always start off by taking out their left eye and then adding blood. I always add in the blood in by drops. Well, not by drops, by shades first. So that way you get they don't cross paths or anything. And I typically go to the mouth, because the mouth is going to be very bloody. Then you go to the claws. That's where the blood comes in. Sometimes you're not going to want to obey the shades here because they're, colored as they're only there because of a color change. Like for example, Zangoose is red, creates different shades, although it's typically one. Boom. Alright, claws. Almost forgot the claws. And you pretty much do this. It's pretty much the easy part. And now comes the part where we chop off bits. I'm going to chop off his ear, with part of his ear. Don't forget to switch back. And boom. I'm also going to give him a huge gash around here. Might as well make part of his face missing. this is probably the most complicated and it's probably the most complicated step that could take forever. If you're wondering why I'm leaving little gaps here and not here, I'm gonna add more blood to this area. And then typically I fill this in with the darkest shade of blood I have currently available. Of which I then proceed to darken even more using the fill tool. Then I start sketching in bones. For example, a jawline, like I'm doing right now. You're gonna want to have varying shades of blood on it in order to, you know, make it look more three-dimensional. That works. And then you start dripping blood. Just let the blood pour down. Whoops, that's the bit. Typically you want to follow the Pokemon's shading already. Ah, crap. Alright. Now then I'm going to give him some intestines dripping out, just for the hell of it. Dripping intestines are actually probably one of the most difficult parts of this, so I recommend not doing them until you're more proficient in this. And now this is where you're going to want to create a completely new color. Oh, or Zangoose is pinkish reddish. It will be perfect for intestines. Another reason you keep around a Pokemon for their shades. It's looking pretty flat and 2D because, well, we haven't added any shades yet. Looks kind of like a tongue, see? And that's fine. That's actually sort of what you want right now. Then you start adding in shades. And then it starts looking more zombie, more gutty, and less tonguey. And then you can add the rib cage if you so desire. You try not to make your rib cage look too how do I say try not to make it look too cagey or too close together, and you just want to splatter in lighter shades of blood and inside in here in random places. Just gives it that more goopy feel. And then you start adding in the blood around, being sure to put extra splash where the guts are hanging. Boom. Sometimes you get like a big block, so you're going to want to start putting them in like this. You've almost got a zombie here. Like a few drops here. Then, when the zombies are walking through, you know, this is a zombie apocalypse, they're going to be walking through blood. So, get their feet dirty. Get them stained with blood. And once you start getting that done, you're pretty much almost there. Once you're this, well, actually, right here is where you can call it a day, and you know, just have it, you know, call it a day. Boom, that's it. Or you could go into. Or you could go even deeper and chop off more parts. But currently I'm almost forgot to put some blood up here on the chopped off ear. Not too much because most of the blood went flowing out, not on. and crop. Change the color back to white. Change the color back to white. And you got yourself a zombie.